Hey guys, Ozzy Lopez with Keller Williams Realty, and in this video I'm going to go over what you can do as a tenant, as a current renter here in our city, now facing a possible hardship, right? With the pandemic and everything that's going on in our society, a lot of us are in a bind, and I want to go over a couple of strategies that you can do to put yourself in a better position. So I have right here a couple of notes. First and foremost, I'm going to talk about three topics. Number one is expense management. Number two is creative income. And number three is negotiation with your landlord, property management, or even if you rent directly through like an owner for rent by owner, then you can apply these tactics as well. Or if you're renting maybe from a family or a friend, it might get a little bit sticky there because there's a level of interest, but if you are, you can apply these tactics as well. So let's get started with expense management. So if you're a renter, if you're a tenant here in our city, what I definitely recommend, right, first step before you do any other step, is control your expenses. And by control your expenses, let me get a little bit more blunt here. Cut as many expenses as possible. I want you to do this. Go to your bank online. Go to your online banking system. Grab the last 3 months of your bank statement and literally go down line by line and look. Grab a couple of highlighters and then go line by line every single thing that you feel you can cut. This is a time where you got to get really brutal with your expenses. You got to find what you can literally live without. Get down to the bare essentials. That's the first thing. Guys, I implore you, get super brutal. I'm going to give you an actual real life scenario that I did with my expense management. So me and my wife have two cars. We have a four-door sedan and a minivan. The four-door sedan is a BMW, and it's costing me about $150 a month in the insurance alone. I'm not even going to talk about gas prices and none of that, right? But just the insurance alone cost me $150 a month for the four-door BMW sedan. But the minivan is a little bit older. It's more utility based. It's not as expensive for maintenance. That one's costing about $50 a month for insurance. So what I did is I parked the BMW all the way to the corner. I'm like, I'm not going to use that car anymore. Me and my wife, we're only going to stick to one vehicle, which is the minivan. And what was I going to say? And I'm gonna reduce the insurance. So we went from having a $150 insurance with the BMW to now only paying around $16 for that car. I couldn't completely cancel that insurance because if you do, then you have to turn in the license plate to the DMV, and it's just a whole another thing. I just want to be able to reactivate it back when we're all kind of in a better situation, right? So my insurance agent was able to find a way to keep a policy where it's like the minimum cost possible, where I wouldn't have to tell the DMV, like, here's my plates, I'm not using the car anymore. So it's only costing me $16 a month. I'm not going to use that car no more. Me and my wife are literally, and by the way, we're not even driving a lot just because we're trying to stay at home as much as possible. So I literally cut that off of our expense. And just like I did it with our auto insurance, guys, that's what I'm doing with everything. Go to your bank statement and get really brutal with your expenses. Put yourself in a situation to succeed. And you can't succeed if there's things eating up your income, right? Now that gets me lined up for my second topic, which is get creative with your income. So many of you might still have a job, but many of you might not, right? If you're watching this video, it's probably because you got laid off, or you got put on a leave of absence, or they put you on a pause to come back in 30 days, and you're still not sure if you might actually come back in 30 days. Regardless, some of you are going to get paid, some of you are not going to. Everybody's in a different situation, right? For those that, whether you are currently working or you're not, especially for those that are not working and not receiving an income, Guys, try to sell everything in your house, right? Sell, sell, sell. I'm gonna give you an example right here. If you see this wallet right here, this is an Amazon wallet that cost me $10, probably like $10.99. Cost me $10.99. I don't even know if the leather is real, to be honest with you. But oops, I dropped it. But it does the job, right? How much did that wallet cost me? $10. This right here, though, is a wallet from you know where, and it cost me way more than $10. Guess what I'm gonna do with this wallet? That's right, I'm gonna sell it. So anything that you can find around your house, sell it, sell it, sell it. I want you to grab all of that income that you can gather by getting creative and selling it, and try to save up as much in reserves as possible. Ideally, you want to have, you probably already know this, you want to have 3 months of living expenses saved up just in case. So if you don't have that, you need to sell everything, like sell your dog. I'm just kidding. But I mean, like toys, your dog's toys, they can run around and play with a cardboard box for now. But figure out everything, what it is that you can sell right now. And last point on creative income. There's many hairstylists, bartenders, it's whatever you want, anybody that works for themselves, right? That are saying, well, what I can't work right now. I'm not allowed to. We can't be around people, social distancing and all that. So how do I actually make some money? So there's a bartender that went online on Facebook and everything, and they're saying, hey, shoot me a $5 tip and I will walk you through like this virtually on how to craft the best cocktail with whatever you're craving. So Zoom, what would you call it? Venmo me $5, $3, $2, whatever you can do. And I'll walk you through how to prepare the best tequila or vodka or coffee, whatever type of drink. And I'll even probably have one here on my end and we'll drink it together. So, right? Hairstylist. Let me mail you this hair dye. I'll mail it to you. You'll get it in a couple days. Once you get it, well, let's actually do a little virtual call like this on FaceTime or on Facebook Messenger, any type of program. There's tons of them, right? And I'll walk you through step by step as to how to get your hair dyed in the comfort of your own home to make sure you're doing everything. Imagine those things that you can do, virtual consultations, right? I want you guys to get super creative with what you can do to get income. So number one, expense management, be brutal and cut. Number two is get creative with your income, right? I want you to get super creative and sell everything, and whatever your skills and talents are, I want you to see how you can monetize that online. And finally, we're going to get to our last topic, which is how do we talk to our tenants? How do we talk to our landlords as tenants? How do we talk to our property managers as tenants? How do we talk to, if you're renting directly from an owner, how do I talk to that owner? I'm renting from a friend and family, how do I talk to them? Well, this is what I want to talk to you about. Number one, it doesn't put them in any better situation if they were to lose you as a tenant. It just doesn't, right? If you couldn't make the payments and you had to leave, they now have an empty house and they have zero income coming in. So as a landlord, as a property manager, or as an owner, investment property owner, they want you there, right? And of course, they want you paying their mortgage or the rent. However, because you're in a bind, it's time to get nitty gritty and negotiate. So I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Number one, you need to know what is it that you need? Like literally, if you look at your savings and you're like, holy crap, I know I'm supposed to have 3 months of reserves, and yet I might only have 1 month. So if this thing doesn't play out the way it's supposed to, I might be in trouble. Okay, then you know you need to be really, really direct with your landlord. Number two, so you need to know what you need and you need to know what you want, right? Number three, well, I think I'm going out of order, but follow me along. The next thing is you need to figure out a plan. And by a plan, I mean is, what if your property manager or landlord cannot actually help you out, right? So here's the deal. If you were to evacuate that home and leave it vacant, they wouldn't gain anything from having an empty house and no more rent money coming in, right? So they definitely want you there. And especially now in these times where if you do evacuate that home and maybe even break your lease and just say, sorry, keep my security deposit, I gotta go, I can't afford this no more. Even if you even if you do that, who knows how long it's gonna take them to find another renter, another tenant, right? With the climate that we're looking at right now and with our economy, it might take them a day, it might not. Who knows? So there's a lot of uncertainty. You know what's better is to have a level of certainty and saying, you know what, I'd rather keep you here. You've been paying good. You've been an excellent tenant. What can I do to keep you here? And that's the dialogue that we need to have. So I'm going to walk you through that. So now that we know that they benefit from keeping you there, and now that you know that you also benefit from staying there, you gotta have a game plan. For example, if you look at your savings and you see that you actually don't have 3 months-ish of living expenses, then you need to be upfront and you need to be honest with your landlord. And you need to say, hey, look, I only have 1 month of reserves. If this thing doesn't play out and I don't have my job back in 30 days, I'm not going to be able to pay the rent. So I do need your help, right? I do need your help. You got to have that direct and honest, hey, heads up. Hey, I'm giving you a heads up. People appreciate a heads up. So don't be afraid. You're not going to scare them off. Instead, you're going to help them. So in case something does happen, they're ready and they say, okay, let's talk. What do we need to do? Right? So be ready to have that direct conversation with them. I don't know if I'm going down a sequence, but that's the first thing. The next thing that you got to do is you got to know what your backup plan is, right? So we just thought about a regular plan. Now you need to think of a backup plan. What if that person doesn't want to help you out? I'm sorry, you got to pay the rent. I don't care what's going on out there. You know, contract is a contract. You got to pay the rent. And whatever they choose is not good or bad, and we're not going to judge them, right? I'm just saying, what if they choose to go that route? You need to have a backup plan, because if you can't pay the rent, yes, right now in our state, they are not allowing any evictions or anything like that. They're not. So you're going to be okay. You're not going to be homeless. But when Nevada lifts that up and now people are allowed to evict, you might not be in the best circumstance there. You're not going to be in the best situation. So I don't want you to get into that little corner. I'd rather you have that conversation with your property manager, your landlord, your owner, property manager, owner, whoever. I need you to have that conversation with them now. Even though because Nevada or our state can't evict doesn't mean you time to chill. You know, let's just chill here. Who cares? That's not how it works. So where was I? Plan B. You need to have a plan B. So what does that plan B look like? Do you have any family member that lives here in the city? Ask them, hey, can I move in with you temporarily while we get back on our feet? Can I rent out this room? Can I put my stuff in storage? Can I put it in your garage? I wouldn't mind paying you a fraction of the rent if need be. So now you're going to be helping out that other person that you do move in with their rent, so they're going to be a little bit more alleviated, and then you are also going to be in a better situation. So have a plan B. Find out who you can rent from, a friend or a family member. They're going to be super key. Another thing you can do as far as a plan B goes is you can live in a less expensive area. You can honestly downgrade if you live at a certain type of neighborhood or category, right? You can find a different neighborhood with less palm trees or less amenities and cut that type of living out of your budget. And it's going to be short term, guys. You're not going to have to live there forever. It's going to be short term, but have a plan B. If I can't afford this level of rent because my savings don't allow it, where can I live where at least I can breathe for a little bit? So have a plan B. I can't stress that enough. So now you have a regular plan of action. Now you have a plan B. Now it's time to talk to the landlord. the property manager, the investment property owner, whatever. This is what you're going to say. Tell them your situation, be direct about it, and then ask them, what do you think is the best solution? That's the script right there. And I'm going to give you a couple of different ways you can phrase it. This is my situation. I unfortunately didn't see this coming. I wish I did, and now I'm stuck. I only have this much. I think I can only pay this much. I think I can only pay that much. What do you think I should do? The thing that I found best when negotiating is when you say, hey, look, I'm not not really smart, right? I'm not as equipped to make this decision, so I need your help because I feel like you might be a little bit more equipped since you're a property manager or you're the investment property owner or you're the landlord. You might have more experience with this. What do you think I should do? That's the tone that you should be having, right? It's not that you're smarter or anything like that. It's more like, hey, look, this is the situation. You're the expert when it comes to this stuff, and I really do need your expertise. What do you recommend I do? And then wait. Once you ask them that question with however you want to ask them, but with that tone implied, you wait, see what they say. They're going to probably vent a little bit and say, I know, you know what, you're not the only person that's called me. You're not the only person that keeps emailing me. You're not the only person that keeps texting me. I know, trust me. They're going to vent, and let them vent. They need to get it out of the system. Do not take it personal. Once they vented and they told you, I don't know if we're going to be able to do anything. We still need the rent payment just because we have a mortgage to pay. We have expenses to pay, blah, blah, blah. Let them vent. Once they do, just say, you know what? You're right. I can understand your situation. I think we're all going through difficult times. Take note of these scripts, you guys. Notice what I said is you're right, or I understand, or I agree with you. You always want to come from a place of agreeing, because whenever you don't do that, you're only going to get defensive, or I'm sorry, not you, that other person's going to get defensive, and then it's much harder to talk with somebody who's like this, right? It's much, much harder to communicate with somebody who's defensive. We want to let those walls down, and we want to talk to them with open hands. And how do you do that? By agreeing. Agree with them. Say, I understand. I agree with you. I think we're all going through this. What do you think is the best solution? If they don't start, here's the next thing. If they don't start giving you ideas or possible strategies, then you need to be ready to give them possible strategies or possible ideas. Here's what they might look like. You know what, I might not have enough. If I don't get my job in the next 30 days, can I pay you half for the next month or 2 or 3? Let me pay you half, or let me pay you 3/4 of it. Or let me pay you, I don't know, this much, I can do this much, whatever, maybe half this much, 3/4 the next month, and then back on the 3rd month, it'll be the full rent. And maybe whatever I end up not paying you for the next few months, I'll pay you towards the end of my lease when it starts to come up. So towards the last month, if I didn't pay you this much or this chunk, just add it to the last month. Or here's another tactic. Maybe when my lease ends, I know I have a security deposit with you, right? When my lease ends, we'll probably discuss how I can give you maybe half of the security deposit and you can keep it. So there's many ways to go about it, you guys. There's no set rule. It's truly purely negotiating. Like where's that happy middle where we can be happy, both of us? Where can it be a win-win? Because I don't want to leave. I don't want to go to my plan B, right? I don't want to go live with my mom, my dad, my best friend, my college roommate, whatever. I don't want to go live with them. I'd rather stay here. What can I work out with you? So have your plan B ready in case you cannot have that dialogue, or they don't want to have that dialogue. You need to be ready. So hopefully you guys are super armed with the scripts and the tactics and how to approach that conversation, right? It's not going to be easy, but because ego and it's a hardship, nobody wants to admit like, hey, I need help. It's not going to be easy, but just remember that you're not the only one. You really aren't. You're not the only one. And when you come from a place of openness and asking for help, most people will embrace that and say, okay, let's work something out. So hopefully this video helps. If you have any questions and you want to maybe go into a further dialogue, you want to maybe ask a couple more detailed questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email address is ozzy@osvegas.com, and my phone number is 702-480-7475. Feel free to text me. Good luck, you guys. Please, please, please be safe out there. Stay home. Do what you got to do. Spend time with your family. And let us know if you need any real estate help. Take care. Bye.